basically started your business with zero funding.
Honestly, no funding. There was a colleague on campus, and I always call him, then I'll go and take one of his iPhone and I'll bring back to the shop, and then I'll take nice pictures of the shoes that we are making. So they'll come and post on my WhatsApp status at then, and I'll get, oh, Kia, how much? I thought it was 100 cedis. So when they said they want it, then I'll go to the shop and then work on it, and then I get my money.
You just made that slipper you're wearing. Right? How much would it cost you to make that?
This one I'm wearing, like, let's say 100 cedis.
What would be your sale price?
200 cedis.
But how much would be your net profit? How are you going to scale that business from where you are today to where you really want to be?
So now you need to learn, unlearn, and all that. You need to monitor change, adapt to change. If you're not ready, you can never go. God asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? And so when God will bless you, there has to be something in your hand. The turning point for me was being on that platform.
At which point did you really realize, nah, this is a real business, so let's put XYZ together? Welcome to Konnected Minds Podcast. My name is Derek, and I thank you so much for tuning in to watch this awesome episode. So today I'm going to be speaking with an entrepreneur. Her name is Edna Frimpong. She is also known as the Shoemaker Girl. And she has got an awesome business, and she was trained by her father. Her father was a shoemaker, and she decided to take the baton and make that business better than her father even did it. Edna has gone through with having a first-class degree, and she still decided to be a shoemaker. I really want to sit with her today and understand why she chose that path and how it's going so far. Edna, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a good privilege to be here. I'm honored. Thank you.
It's awesome. I've been running around like a headless chicken to try to make this conversation happen, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I don't take it lightly. Whenever a guest takes the time out of their home, their busy schedule to come and sit with me, I don't play with that. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, where do I even start from? The Shoemaker Girl. What's your backstory?
Shoemaker Girl. I know people ask me that question a lot. But first off, my dad is a shoemaker for over 20 good years plus. And I stayed with him through my entire life. And staying with a father, men, you have to go to him to the shop, wherever he's going. He doesn't have time for you like that. So when he's going to the shop, I follow. And I'll be doing the basic things, the hammering, the polishing, the gluing, and all that. I was thinking it was just helping out. But anytime I'm hammering and gluing, if you know Kaneshi Matayako area very well, Kateko Central University, it's a busy road. People be staring in their cars. What's this? But for me, I didn't see it in a bad light. I saw it in a good way. So one day I was like, well, if I take this business serious, people will take me serious. I'll get the mileage. So why don't I jump on it?
You said that to yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I was secondary school then. Even after school, I come back to the shop and come and help him. So it's like, the way I'm getting the bars, if I don't jump on it, it will lose. And when I was going to secondary school, the second semester or second term, I bought glue, I bought hammer, because there's a shoemaker on campus, but it was expensive. So I could do the gluing and other things. So I bought all these things. And the guy even gave it to me for free. He didn't take money. He's late now. And then when I went to campus, when there's no lecturer or teacher in the classroom, I moved from desk to desk. It was a mixed school. So then I'll tell them, in case your sandals get torn, bring it and I'll work on it for you. Because they knew my dad was a shoemaker, because my dad used to supply the school, the sandals then. And then it worked. So on Saturday, when people move to SU, towers and all that, I'll be at the corner and I'll be gluing all the sandals. Because that's where I'll get money for transportation back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So I keep saying that if what pursues you determines how you run. If I'm working with you and you're from a very good home and I'm not from a good home, you might be sleeping on campus, but I can't sleep. Because even when you fail, there is a leverage for you. But me, there was no leverage. So I had to do something. And that was the reason why I'm here today.
Your father has had a really big influence on you.
Very.
At what age did you start playing with, learning how to?
So I stayed with my dad from 2 years.
Okay.
And so let's say 10 years, I was grown. 10 years, I was grown. 10 years. I'm Matayako. Yeah, so I used to go to the shop with him. Definitely, you have to follow him to the shop. And then go buy glue. Yeah, go and buy glue. Go and buy this and all that. And then his clients will come to show you, gay, you don't money, bro, you know that kind of thing. But I was just enjoying playing around it. I didn't know it would take me somewhere. But yeah, I'm here today because of that.
And at that young age, you were thinking about taking over from your father?
Yes. Do you know why? I've seen other people with shoemaking doing so well. I believe in results. Like, you messed up, but let me see the final result. And I've seen people do shoemaking. I mean, we know a lot of shoemaking brands doing so well in the system, having houses, things, properties for themselves. But when it comes to my own, I wouldn't see anything. You know, people even come and they'll just give us small money for just making shoe for them, and they would go and sell it huge. Yeah. So people are taking advantage of him and all that. I'm like, nah, this business, I will make sure I will take it because he didn't learn the skill. It was a gift from God. So it means maybe God gave this gift to the family. That's why we'll succeed with it. But sometimes mistakes happen. He wasn't seeing the result of it. Like, maybe I'm going to school by the grace of God, and I'll leverage on what I'm having now and make sure I push this business, own it myself, and be able to get something from it that my daddy never got from the business. And yes, it's been.
And now, what are you doing different from what your dad was doing?
Maybe one, education plays a lot of role. Yes, education is an eye-opener. And then 2, people around you. Right. Relationships are advantage in life. Yes, it has played a lot of role for me. I'm here because of relationship, and I'll never take that for granted. And then, of course, you need to learn, unlearn, and all that. You need to monitor change, adapt to change. If you're not ready, you can never grow. So maybe change, family, relationship, and then education plays a lot of role.
Are you taking your father's foundation and building on it, or you are still in the same establishment that your father has?
Oh no, now I've moved. So I learned the foundation from him, but now it's different. He's doing his business. I'm also on my part, doing our own thing together.
So where is the cross learning? It's what's happening, right? How's the right? I want to know how.
But he's still working because he's still young. Yeah.
So how's the conversation going?
Oh, I mean,
because who has become more successful financially?
By the grace of God, I'm the one.
Good. So now, almost as if he's giving you experience, but what are you also teaching him?
I think he has learned a lot. He has learned a lot in terms of business, how to do business, putting family aside, because that's where I had to cut across the line. Family could ruin things, and so I didn't want to lose the fatherly blessings, the father blessings, and all that. So let me pull out and let me go so that I can shout and scream on someone, but I can't scream on my dad, you know. So I had to move on, and then he understood that because that's business. At the end of the day, when you are broke, you come back to me. So why not?
No, it's amazing. What I really want to know is that what have you done for your father for your father's business to also make sure that at least it works better than the 10-year-old.
So I've been able to with the shop he's working in. It was bought by my company. Yeah, he's working in the shop. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I used to give him contracts work to do. Some of the shoes for the shoeless, the kids, the shoes I make for the kids, some goes to him because one person cannot handle all that production. So I make sure I share across all the shoemakers I know. I grew up with them, and they're still the same. Because where I learned the shoemaking, the scale is I think the hub of shoemakers. A lot of shoemakers are around, and so I've seen all of them for 20 years, and they're still in that same business, same terrain, same level. And then they see, you just came right now, and all over. they're not ready. They're not ready to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But I still roll with them and all that. Because, yeah, you can't take that away.
Amazing. So take us on that journey of the time where COVID-19 had a complete turn for you.
Okay, so I was working with an NGO. I mean, they sponsored my primary to SHS. Yeah, on scholarship. So I think way to also give back to them was to work with them. Yeah. And so it was fun. I was working with foreigners, travel around Ghana and having fun. But I didn't know that it would things would change around. And luckily for me, when I started that business, that company, then I applied to go to school. So I went to GIJ, now Unimark. And first year, second year, they said 2021, 2019, and COVID, boom. You know, most of our funds come from the US. And so the foreigners were not coming again, and the funds was not coming because why are they coming? Because of COVID. So they had to close down the business. But we were building schools, we were giving scholarship to, a lot of work that we're doing here, but we have to. And then my boss called me and said, this was happening, but I can't let you go like that. I can help you pay your fees, the upcoming term school fees. So why not? I'm gladly able to accept that and do that. And I took that offer.
Okay.
And then I was staying there because it was like a house. So you could stay there and all that. And during that moment, I was there with my brother. He also, by the grace of God, he had a very good company working. It worked for him. Very big company in Ghana. And so I was thinking, he's going to take care of me in the university. So yeah, I relaxed, not knowing I was supposed to go to do everything myself. And he said, one time he came to the house and he said, Ikia, I'm not going to stay with you again. Yeah. I didn't know, up to now, I didn't know what I did. And so he took everything and left. And during that moment, I had to take my own destiny into my hands. And I said, okay, way back in secondary school, I knew that I wasn't going to enter into the university straight. I have to work for a year or two and get the money before I go. So yes, now's the time. So let me go to school on weekends, and then I look for hustle during the weekdays. And so that's what I did. And I chose GIG because of the distance. It wasn't far from my home. And Kaneshi to Circle wasn't that far reach. Instead of Legon, I had Legon UPSC, but I had said, let me go because it's the distance, so that I'll be able to save. And then I do that. And so weekends, I go to school, Saturday and Sunday. And then the whole Monday to Friday, I go to the shop, go help Poppy, that I will work. And then I was having a phone. It wasn't really that good phone though, but it wasn't getting me the very good pictures, good images. So there was a colleague on campus, my course rep, my friend. And I always call him. He's still around my area. And so I'll call him, then I'll go and take one of his iPhone and I'll bring it back to the shop. And then I'll take nice pictures of the shoes that we are making and I'll model some of them. So they'll come and post on my WhatsApp status then. Because Instagram wasn't working for me. So I'll post on my WhatsApp and I'll get, Kia, how much? So okay, it was 100 cedis. And then okay, then they will buy. So when they said they want it, then I'll go to the shop. Poppy, order has come and then we work on it. And then I get my money. So it wasn't like boom. No, it was like that. And then one time on campus, a lecturer said, you have to go open accounts. It was a new media course. So you have to create social media account by force for a max, 30 marks. And then I think after the project, people, threw it away. And then I said, okay, the man spoke so well about a platform called LinkedIn. It's okay, why don't I jump on this platform and see if it will work for me? Because at that time, everybody post was about suit and tie, and you don't see anybody like shoemaking, other profession on that platform. But I think I was there one day and I said, let me try and post and see if it will work. So I posted and I said, hi everyone, my name is Edna, the Shoemaker Girl. And I saw the reaction. And I said, okay, it will work here for me. So let me go and do my homework. So I went and sit down, read more about how to optimize my profile and all that, and read more about my industry as well. So that I'll be able to, I read that the LinkedIn is like educating people about your industry. And so I'll come and tell them how you need to wear the shoe like this, your size matters and all that. And people were enjoying the conversation. And that was the turning moment for me. So the turning point for me was being on that platform.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Simply because a lecturer told you to create it for 30 marks?
Yeah. I tell you.
This is interesting. Now, it took a phone that you did not own.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking?
Even that phone was bought by a colleague of mine. I always appreciate her. She bought it for me because, I used to help colleagues on campus academically. But the camera wasn't that clear.
Okay.
And, I think I've got to realize that branding matters a lot. It's a big deal. Pictures, it speaks volume. So one thing I'm very good about is my images. I will waste all my money on taking good pictures. Just because it speaks a lot. And so I had to do that because it wasn't, the blur pictures wasn't working because the slippers are very good, but you don't get good image of it. The people don't appreciate the product.
Right.
That is the issue. Because I've seen that people have nice products. People will send you a product with their image and it was so blurred. But when they bring you see the product, it looks so nicer.
Right.
So it was the image. So I had to take that decision. Okay, no, let me start from here because I can't get the iPhone now. I never dreamed I would get an iPhone so easily. But let me start from where so you see, when I was taking my friend's phone, a colleague of mine was very close to that guy. He was very close to him. And then she has realized that I'm into this shoemaking and she was like, if I get this girl an iPhone, it will appreciate, she will do well because I've seen that she wants to build her brand with this shoemaking. But her pictures, she's asked somebody for your phone. So why don't I get a phone like an iPhone so that it could help her with her images and all that? So somebody was even thought about that for me, but it took me taking the effort, the initiative, before someone noticed my effort and helped me with the phone.
You practically started your business with zero funding.
I tell you. No, you don't need any. I don't think, maybe because of the background, because your father is there, so yeah, but honestly, no funding. Because the money I had was to take it to school,
So how did you pay your school fees?
So I think my boss then paid the other semester for me. And then the side hustle, then I was still doing the shoemaking. So the money I got from it wasn't really that much, but I could top up. And then again, I was also helping people academically on campus. God has given me intelligence. I'm good academically. So I leverage on that. God asks Moses, what do you have in your hand? And so when God will bless you, there has to be something in your hand. Yeah, and people you ask, I don't know what I'm doing, but there's something you have that you could leverage on. And that was it for me. Some I was doing it for free, some I was doing it for money, but the ones that I did for free opened up the opportunities for me. I had friends paying fees for me and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes with this social media stuff, a lot of people can do it. Okay, they generate a few orders. Maybe they are selling fashion items, and then it works for them for a few months. Then they change. They're selling books. Then that works for them for a few months. Then they will change. Then they go and sell this. For you, at what point did you start thinking, okay, this is not just fun. This is actually going to turn into a real business?
I think when I started getting the media traction, I've been on TV stations. And I don't like, today you're selling shoes, tomorrow you're selling clothes. I don't like that kind of business. But then it's the vision. The vision drives you. It wakes you up. So I knew where I wanted to go. And I wanted to take the family, that father business to the next level. And I want that in 100 years to come, when dad is no more, I'm no more, that shoemaking, the Frimpong family have the shoe making. It has to be in the family. Now, if you go to the area, it's not Mr. Frimpong's daughter. Yeah, so I just wanted to take the family business, the name, the shoe. No, I didn't want to leave the family.
But why you?
Maybe that's God's plan. That was God's plan. That was God's plan. That was God's will.
Apart from you, was there any other child in the family that spent a lot of time with your father?
No, I was the only person. And I'm the only person who have done that.
Wow. Shoemaker Girl.
Yeah.
So, at which point did you really realize, nah, this is a real business? So let's put XYZ together.
Then I was receiving people coming, let's partner, let's do this. Then I was like, then I'm doing something right. If I'm having people coming that we should put our heads together, then it means, and people were coming with funding opportunities and all that. But I am not a fan of funding like that because you can have all the money and you're still messed up. People win grants and all that, basically, they haven't done any business with it. People are winning grants, but they don't even have a shop or a business. So I was like, nah. So I had to go to God in prayer. And I know that for a business to grow, you can't do it alone. I mean, life is not meant to be done alone. Yes. So I needed a team, people to work with. And it's how God's work. He brings the people by himself. And I work by a principle. Can two work together in Amos chapter, the book of Amos, unless they agree? And I think that's the basic principle of every relationship. That is the basis of every relationship, agreement. And I had a team that we had the same agreement. And unfortunately, we all had the same name, Frimpong.
Okay.
So we all call Frimpong in the business. And I could have the skill. I had the visibility. But sometimes you need someone who will bring the strategy. Somebody who will bring in the finance idea. Because we had a first-class valedictorian who is a finance person. And we have a software guy, money-minded guy, has all the money. Not funding, but his own money. And I have the visibility. And maybe I have the skill. So why don't we come together and push it? Because honestly, if I was doing it alone, I don't think I would still be here.
Wow.
Yeah. But if you come as a team, you're able to do other things as well whilst you're trying to diversify. And when we came as a team, it has helped me to also do other things. Being able to write a book, move from places to places, speak to people, and do other things. Imagine if I was doing it alone, I wouldn't have done it.
At what age did you start this business?
20, 25, because now I'm still in my 20s. Because, 22, 23, 25, yeah. But then, unprofessional wise, since childhood, like 10 years or going and all that, but professional wise, 20, 21, 22, yeah, so 25, 24, yeah.
Amazing. Now, for me, it's the storytelling element of your brand, which you did pretty well with LinkedIn. That platform has helped you so much. A lot of the information we gathered about you today was through LinkedIn and a few TED Talks that you've had here in Ghana. I think you've done fantastic. Now, I want us to dig a bit deeper. What did that partnership mean to you financially for the business?
I think it meant everything. I wasn't sleeping thinking about where to get money from for this product, for this shoot, for this, that, because someone is handling that. What I have to do is know my part and play it well. So if it's about shoemaking, I do it well. If there's an issue, they call me and say, we don't like what you are doing. Because they believe in it. I think one thing that it taught me is about excellence.
Okay.
No matter how, we could make a shoe or slippers and my people say, we will not send this to the client. No. So I think it taught me about excellence. They were so bent on excellence, and that has really helped the company really well. And in terms of financial wise, I mean, at first I wasn't generating any revenue from my business, like huge amount of money, and maybe it was hand to mouth. But I think being in that partnership taught me about the legacy thinking instead of the survivor thinking. And that's what I think the Chinese practice that a lot. And I think most Ghanaian companies are short-term, so hand to mouth. They buy and they just, no, but. So sometimes my family will, hey, and Edna, you say you don't have money. I said, but you are selling. And so you think the money is for just today. No, you are building an empire.
I want you to talk a bit more about this legacy thinking. Now talk to me more about that.
Yeah, family called. I have a cousin. She's always on my neck. I don't have money. Hey, you don't have money, but you have a company. You have a book. You are speaking everywhere. So you should have money. I said, no. It's. I'm scared of the future ahead. And if you don't take care people will say, I saw you on TV, on Konnected Minds. I saw you on everywhere, but you don't have nothing to show off. I didn't want to repeat that mistake of my dad. And so I was bent on that. I have to have that legacy thinking. I know. Sometimes I go for program and they give me money and I want to spend, and I have one of my sisters who said, no, that money should be put into this account.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so difficult, but I had to do that. And imagine years to come, you're reaping benefit of that money, and that brings you so much joy. So I think you have to be it's the discipline aspect for me. But so you have to be very strong and very disciplined. If not, they will take over. Because the same people, 5 years to come, they'll tell you that you didn't make it in life upon all that you did. Yes, that's it. I didn't want to say it in tree because it's funny. They'll say it. I know. Even me, I know that 5 years to come, this same person asking me of money every day, when you tell me, but you were all over. So what happened with the money that came into your hand? So that's the time for me. So one of the thinking or skills every entrepreneur has to have is have legacy thinking instead of what? Survivor thinking. It won't take you anywhere. People say, okay, but what if tomorrow you're not here? People say that a lot. But that's the excuse they give. If you're not there, someone will take over it. That's why I like some businesses like, I don't want to mention the brand, but even in their absence, the company is still working. That is where I want to go. Even in your absence, the company has to run. Sometimes I'm not in the company. I don't even go to the shop. We have a showroom, but the company is still running. You ask, Edna, I don't see you around. I say, yes, we have systems. We have structure. And I play my part. I stay reserved, and everybody plays their part.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe and become part of the family. We are on a journey of changing the lives of people on this channel. And we appreciate you for being here. But if you haven't become part of the family, connect with us. Hit the subscribe button. Now let's carry on the conversation. The problem with a lot of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, when I have speaking to many of them, is they don't want to give a big chunk of their business away. Right. So, for example, if there are two people in a business, then it's 50-50, right? In most cases, like myself, my business partner is 50-50. And people don't want to do that. They want to keep everything. They want,
we don't see you.
Individual ownership.
Yeah.
You are the one that owns it. But what they don't understand is that you can have 10 people in a business and you can still be the CEO.
Exactly.
Because the CEO doesn't necessarily mean that you actually even have any share in that business. They could just nominate you to be the CEO because you play that role better. So do you advise people to go towards more partnership than single ownership?
Oh yes, I believe in that. I think in the Western world, they are thriving on partnership. All the big companies that we know of is more of, and all the I've done my research on all the shoemaking brands in the US. They are all family. If it's not about family, they are friends that made up the business. And honestly, you can't do it all alone. Trust me, you need people.
If I take you through your business right now, you just made that slipper you're wearing. Right? How much would it cost you to make that?
Oh, this one I'm wearing, like, let's say 100 cities. Now, let's say 100 cities.
Your cost price is 100 cities, right? What would be your sale price?
200 cities. Let's say 200 cities, yeah.
Fantastic. So your revenue is 100 cities.
Yeah.
Right. How much would be your net profit from the revenue?
Let's say, if I take all my delivery,
from
everything,
cities,
from it, 50 cities.
About 50 cities.
Yeah.
So 50 cities, then that's split between the people of the business, or, that you make decisions on what you want to do with that business.
We make decisions on what to do.
Edna, how are you going to scale that business from where you are today to where you really want to be?
So now the company is able to fund itself without individuals' money.
Okay.
And so, at first we could, if I go for programs, sometimes I win money, grants and all that, I bring it to the company and all that. But now the company is able to, it's like a human being on its own that can fund itself. And we've tried to set up in other African countries.
Okay.
Instead of Europe. Everybody think US, UK. But it's gradual. If you haven't tackled your neighboring countries, why do you have to move straight to US? Yeah, because I think most people forget about that. Your neighboring countries, they all need... Sierra Leone don't even have this kind of sandals, slippers and shoes. and all that. So we want to first tackle our neighboring countries, and then we moved, even though we sell to all these places, but we want to find our roots in that country, Kenyan, Sierra Leone, the Rwandas, before we move straight to and UK and US. But now we want to also have more shops in other part of the country, regions.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes the people that you're recruiting, that becomes the problem.
Okay.
They want the fast money. They don't want this kind of jobs. But then I think it will take time. But in terms of expanding, we are on course. We are still talking with people in other African countries how we're able to set up in that country. And then again, sometimes scale up is not only about setting up. It's about even equipment. And that's something that we are currently working on to get good machines that will aid our businesses. So if you go to Germany, they don't even have to hammer themselves. We have a machine that does the hammering, machine that do the cutting. And having this will also increase our productivity level. So if you are getting 1,000 pair of shoes, we should be able to produce within like a month or a week. But right now, if you bring 1,000 of shoes, you have to make sure we split it among a lot of shoemakers, be able to achieve that aim.
So that was my next question. Manual production versus automated production. And how are you going to do that?
But I think handmade is the best. I don't know.
I understand, but it comes with price,
Yes.
right? So it comes with price. So if I had to make this slipper all by hand, instead of charging you 200 cedis, I'll probably charge you 1,000 cedis because it's taking me a lot of time, and my time per hour is pretty expensive.
Sure.
So can you imagine if you have to produce 1,000 and the number of people you need to employ to make that happen? That's your business, and I can understand from what you just said that you really want to move from just manual to also add an automated to make things faster and to be able to scale properly, right?
Yeah. So recently, we worked on some productions for a football academy in Ghana, and then we had to customize their name, the kid's name on the slippers, and we only had one. Luckily, we have one machine that would do that, and we have to do it manually, one by one. I'm like, what is this? So imagine we have that bigger one. Within like a week or that 2-5 days, we would have finished that production.
Right. So this is what I'm saying, right? You have an awesome business. Now, and I was going to talk about your sales channels. So you've got social media, you have a website as well, Ahofade, right? What other channels do you have?
I think we have a shop.
Okay, you have a shop front as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
showroom. We have a showroom.
Okay.
And then we have the website, and then there are socials. And I think lately, and then of course, return client. I think lately what works for us is the ad.
Okay, right. Social media ads.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you have all of these things that are coming in. Now, what could really be happening is that your business could see a complete turnaround if you're focused on more ads, more e-com.
And that's what we are doing.
Right. And then revenue then diverted into machinery to automate instead of, okay, let's go to Nigeria, Ghana.
Exactly.
Right. We take it all through one funnel and then we produce it all from here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think this year we had a meeting, and then we realized that the ad was working. I mean, we and that's our breakthrough recently. It works best for us. And so we could, instead of focusing on a lot of people, why don't we have just a target audience who are willing to pay for what we produce?
Yeah.
And then we focus on them, and then we continue with other things as well.
Absolutely, I agree. I think social media ads is so powerful. We've seen it in our businesses. It works like magic. You know, it can change things very quickly. So if you have a business and you're not patronizing services of these social media platforms, and I'm talking do SEO marketing, you could do Google ads, you could do Instagram, Facebook, Meta ads, Snap ads, TikTok ads. Just do ads, search ads, and you will see a lot of increase in your business. But obviously, whatever industry you're in, there are rules and regulations as to what you can post and what you cannot post. This is something I learned the hard way. Some of our accounts got struck off because we're posting things that we're not supposed to post.
Right.
Yeah. But now let's talk about the challenges you're facing as a female in a male-dominated industry.
Quality speaks louder than gender. Yeah. honestly, I haven't had a lot of challenges as a female shoemaker. And I have a lot of female shoemakers as friends. And I keep asking them the same question. And I don't get that. Rather, it plays to our advantage.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. It plays to our advantage. You know, it's just fascinating seeing a woman hammering, making, gluing, making shoe in as a part of our society. And it draws them closer. It's just few who are skeptical because they haven't seen such before that will work that. But one thing my team taught me is that let produce quality, excellence, because we have people who understands or speak excellence instead of gender. So when they come and they get a product, they're not getting the product because, oh, she's a female, but because of the quality. And sometimes they receive the product and they are, wow, is a woman? And I don't want that tag. That is a woman who make the shoe. This is from our whole party. This is our product. Not just a woman. Buying because of the quality, not buying because of female.
I love it. I love
But
that.
most of the challenges is more of the industry than personality.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges in the industry?
Definitely cost of materials. It's crazy. Because every day you go to the market, there's an increment of a product, whatever, because most of the things are shipped outside the country. So yeah. And then, of course, the purchasing power of the people. So then you increase the product and say, I bought this thing recently, this price, forgetting that handmade is different from production. They compare China to handmade products. But you see, China make it in bulk productions. You don't really take time on it. But you see the handmade, a person has taken his time to make the thing for you. So there's a lot of time, like you said, effort goes into that than the mass production. People don't know about that. And they always come, when we go for exhibition, they say, but it's expensive. But those who actually knows footwear, when you mention the price, they're okay. Okay, this is handmade, so that's it.
And now on your journey, what were the moments that nearly broke you in this business?
Okay, I don't know if it broke me, but it rather gave me hope.
Okay.
Yes, it gave me hope. We made slippers of 150 plus to a football academy, and they received the product. The man who gave me that contract spoke well of me, good recommendation, and they received the product, and all the sandals, most of them were removed, were getting torn.
Wow.
And that was the second time we are making shoes for them. So every year they bring the contract. And this is the second time. And then I learned the owner told that this is the last chance. She doesn't have to mess up. Because the first one, there was no issue, but this one, an issue. And then somebody else spoke well about you, and then this. And the person called and said, Edna, I spoke well about you. So what happened? That's sad. That's business. I mean, and I took it normal. That's business. I mean, it was meant to happen. It's how you're able to navigate through that issue. And then I said, I accept the blame. Don't worry, we'll fix that. And I had to make sure they bring the things from far from Akuse. Everything, revamped everything, removed everything. The issue was from where we bought the sole. I think it has been there for long. And so that was where the issue was. And so it wasn't from our fault, but they don't understand it until later I realized that I told them that it wasn't really our fault. It's from where we bought that particular material. So the one who sold that thing to us made that mistake to us. But we have to accept the blame. And we go back and work on all the shoes. Everything was normal because I'm the face of the company. So if everything messed up, it boils down to me. And nobody will mention my other people because they don't know them much, but they know me. And so I had to take the course. I did everything within a week. Because they're needing the thing for a week for the kids to wear them. And then it was just recently, he called me again and said, yeah, the good news is that we haven't had any issue again with the shoes. And now I'm expecting another contract again this year. And I pray I get it. So yeah, it was. But I think some of my team members were scared, but I wasn't, because it's part of business. It tests you that this are bound to happen, so that you know that, okay, you can stand. And
but in the moment, how did you feel?
The pressure, the tension, like, oh God, I can't lose this contract. Because that was, at first, that was our highest source of revenue. I mean, it brings a lot of money. And then something like this. And I mean, because they bring a lot of money, honestly. And then this is happening. It means you might not going to get a contract again. They have to look other elsewhere. Somebody who has to poach in there, other shoemaker. So I had to fight for that, for the contract to be remain. And you know what? One thing I did? Well, after everything was done, I need to personally make shoe for the one who gave me the contract. That relationship, you need to keep it. I need to keep that relationship. And I had to work on a project with him so that Edna's name will never leave as mine. So you have to you have to find something to mend that relationship so that it will work out.
Do we always need funding to start our business?
Never. Never. People are winning grants, like I said. But if you bring them here and ask them to show you the people they are paying salaries to, where are they working? Or their revenue, I don't think you are going to get it. But they have a very good template. They speak so well, so they're going to win the money. And those who are actually doing the job are not getting the funding. So you don't necessarily have to get it, because you can have the money and you still messed up. So start with what you have. When it comes your way, fine. If it doesn't come, you still move. Up to now, my company have been receiving external funding. At any moment that comes, there was maybe I won an award and they gave me, Mastercard Springboard Roadshow Foundation gave me some award and the money. And that's just a few money. But to a company giving you this fund and funding to do this, not yet. And that is just something that we are eager to. Because we get that approach a lot. I want to put money into it and say, no, wait. Sometimes we need to do our homework well before we bring in an external influence.
Let me stop you here for a minute. If you've been watching this show, I want you to subscribe and become part of the family. We are on a journey of changing the lives of people on this channel. And we appreciate you for being here. But if you haven't become part of the family, connect with us. Hit the subscribe button. Now let's carry on the conversation. That's amazing. I'm of the view as well that if you have a business idea that you want to execute, go ahead, even with a little that you have. So it could be create a logo, create a website, use AI to create models of whatever it is that you're trying to produce, create a social media account, and then create content around it. And, collect data. That's a good start. You may not have $5,000-$10,000 to start that business, but I'm sure you can get 200 CDs, 300 CDs to get somebody to create a logo for you, right? So I think that's even a good start. Then you can create a pitch deck and then see how it goes.
I launched my book with no money, not my money.
How did you do it?
So I had an idea. I wanted to write a book about my journey so far. And I was like, hey, who are those going to buy this book? Because I don't know anybody. And it's good to have people around you who think way higher than you and who are above you. So, and I told one friend, he's like, no, you write the book. You have people who read it. You have an audience. I don't have any followers. You have followers. You have 10. Then I had 10K plus.
Right.
And links, they will buy it. I was scared. And I visited a doctor at the hospital and I told him that, after everything, when he done treating me, he was like, I want to write a book, and even launched it. But I don't think I'll do physical launch because I don't have the money. So I'll do virtual. And the guy was like, nah, it should be physical. Why not? People will come. You don't know. So let's do it. So the guy took care of the SMS bulk message, the cost, the doctor. And I said, okay, I wrote the book and I leveraged a relationship. I had a friend who is an editor. She said, she didn't take me money. She took the manuscript and she'd edit them for me. And then, but I'll tell you how I'll pick them back again. And then I needed a book cover. I had a lady friend who is a graphic designer. She has never designed a book cover before. So I said, why don't you use this as a test?
Wow.
And she did it. From there, she had people bringing book cover designs for her to do it. And that was it. And now the book was done. We have a book cover, everything was done. Now it's left with, I think, money for printing the books. And then physical launch, because now I'm convinced that I will launch it because people have convinced me now. And then I was there, a fellow friend called. Said, it's been a long time. So, oh yeah, I'm working on a book and I'm thinking of launching. He said, oh, then I'll handle the venue. How it came, I have been on his program before. I didn't take money from him.
Wow.
So, but he's trying to pay back that opportunity. And that was how my venue was sorted. And then I had someone who promised to give me money to print the books. 2 weeks to the time, the man said, sorry, Edna, unfortunately, I can't help now. 2 weeks to my book launch, and I haven't printed it. I was, oh God, what will I pass? And someone also came and said, Eddie, it's been a long time. I said, oh, I do. And the person said, okay. And I said, I'm working on a book. Very soon I'll publish and all that. I said, oh, then what can I do? And I said, oh, I don't know. And he said, oh, let me handle the printing for you. And that was it. Now, getting people for publicity wasn't difficult.
Okay.
I think I keep saying publicity is spiritual.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah. It's God that gives visibility. You can do poster all over and still not get people coming to your church, coming for buy your products or whatever. But when the visibility falls upon you, wherever you are, even if you're lazy, it will locate you. And so one prayer I keep praying is to God to give me visibility. The right people should see me. So even when I'm posting on social media, on LinkedIn, before I post, I need to pray on that post. That this post needs to be seen by the people who actually will value. Because you can have a very good gift, but the people around you they don't appreciate your gift. Forget it. You will never go nowhere. And that's most people's story. They are very good, but their environment do not appreciate what they have until God moves them. Joseph was in the prison. He was interpreting dreams, but he was still there until he met King Pharaoh. His life changed at that moment. And so sometimes you need the right people. So I was like, God, let me meet the right people. Because sometimes meeting the right people alone changes everything to me. And that was it. So someone will see the post and that was, who's this girl? And they'll call, I would like to help you. I want to do this. And that's how I launched a book honestly, there was no money from my pocket adding to that book launch. Yes.
Wow.
I launched that. I would tell you, there's no money coming from my pocket. It was through strangers and through people that some have met them. And later on, I had to repay them back unknowingly because that's life.
Yeah.
It should be give and take.
Oh, there's a universal law. Yeah. It's called the law of Amra. Okay. Give and take. And then take. And I love what you said. As a matter of fact, maybe I should say a prayer. May the God of visibility locate me.
Amen.
Amazing. Then after you've done all of this, where people have helped you, then, you also try to help other people. How did you then come up with your initiative for the shoe for the shoeless?
Success means nothing if you haven't left anyone or you haven't been a blessing to anyone. I have been marvelously helped by God and men. That one, I will never take it for granted. From my infancy to where I am now, to where I'm going, it's all help of God and men. And so what a better way to also give back to society. Someone will say, but you're not done taking care of your family. The one who took care of me, no. The person had family, but the person bet on me. Yeah. And so even if it's one person, I said impact starts with one. Because it's just one that will give you billion. So impact starts with one. If I'm able to impact Kofi will go and impact Ama will go and impact Ajwa. And that's how we all help ourselves. It doesn't mean I have millions of people before I'm impacting people. No. If it's just one person enough. So and I realized that I couldn't give dresses. I can't give bags. What I could give is what I do. And I remember on campus, university, I think there's a lot of things we learn in school that people take for granted. I think everything I learned in school, I make sure I implicated it in my life and in my business. There's one course we were doing called, I think, community. Yeah, it's under PR. And PR, one of the jobs is to be a community relations person, know what's in the society, so we do CSR works. And we're given a task to go and look for a social problem in a society and be able to do a whole campaign around it. And I think my team messed up. We went to do something about medication and all that. But after everything, the lecturer realized that we're not getting it. And he's a very good top PR person. And he gave us a typical example. He is also into shoemaking. I mean, he
Okay.
sells shoes. And he gave us a typical example of something like that. Like he uses company, like he could they could do shoes and give to people. I'm like, and even when he was doing that, he was like, this girl, I know she'll go and take this idea and run with it. And I was like, oh, so he opened my mind to something like that. So later when I started the whole, I mean, like I was gaining grounds and I wrote the book. The initial thought was that the part of the proceeds I received from the book was going into that. So that was that was the idea. So the idea wasn't like to produce 1,000 shoes. It was just a short-term period. But I think I was sitting down and one of my nephews was like, Aunt Edna, so after the whole this, are you going to do it again or that's the end? And I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't thought about it to do it, to take it further. And it's like, oh, then mission 1,000 pair of shoes. When I think about something, I just move with it. I don't just think plenty, no. I just move with it. Then I had to go back to my profile and change on the mission to provide 1,000 pair of shoes to kids. And I wrote in my diary, this is what I'm going to do. Then I didn't have any money for that. But the money I used, the proceeds from the book was there. And then the idea was producing shoe and gift them. Now, I was talking to one of my friends again. She called me. She's also very good when it comes to proposal writing and all that. And I said, she asked me, so how far was the shoe for the shoeless? And I said, oh, I am currently working on it, but it seems my money will not reach you. Because I have to do the shoe now, pick and go and deliver it. Then he's like, Edna, why do you worry yourself? You have such a good community. People are willing to support a good cause. So put it out there that you need support to push this initiative and people are willing to help you. And I was scared. I said, no, because I don't like asking money. He said, no, do it. People will do it. So I had to go back to my drawing board as a PR person and draft a whole campaign plan. And I talked to I have a graphic guy, and he was like, let's move it. So we did a flyer operation, 50 cities. Very good, beautiful flyer. So when you see it now, you donate some the money. And then we did it. And then I started rolling out the campaign. And within 2 weeks, we were able to get 10,000 plus.
Wow.
And I was not. So now the money that I even had to already to make the shoe was still there. Like, it will work like this. And then you have to go back to the drawing board, make the shoe. So the first initiative, I had to make like 50 pair of shoes because I had the communities already settled. And then now you can't go alone. You have to go with at least few people. And people wanted to follow me. And you can't take somebody's daughter's house from Accra to the other region and not give them food. So I had to come inside. Okay, that I will take this. But people were willing to support. So even a week before the project, people were sending money. And that's when I realized that people are willing to support a good cause.
Yeah.
People really brought their money. And then I was also updating them because you need to update the people who are bringing their money so they don't think that you are spending the money. And then after the whole production was done, we did a delivery. We went to Central Region, at Techedo, and we went to in some area, Isikebu, and we donated 30, I think 50 or so. And then we came back, we showed the people the progress, we did a whole flyer to them where we've reached now, and I told them that now the aim is that I'm moving beyond what I initially expected. And on my birthday too, some of the funds were still there. We had a lot of money again. So why don't I use this money to also produce? I didn't ask anybody money again. So I used that fund to produce another 30, and I sent it to Savannah region. It is a community there for them. And now there was still little fund. And I said, God, you gave me this idea. You gave me, I'm just the convener of this project. You are the CEO. So you have to fund this project. I don't care. I don't know what's the money I'm going to use for the next month, the next 2 months. But honestly, somebody has tackled 200 shoes in December. Somebody has sponsored 60 pair of shoes that next month I'm going to do the donations. Wow. And I was sitting down there and I'm like, and I'm now understanding why this is God's project. God is funding his own. And the one who recently approached me was just Instagram. The person said, I want to handle 50. It's her 50th birthday. And so she asked me how many quantities, and I said, like 50. Then he said, I'm making it 60. And she brought the money. And the good thing is that she made me customize a scripture on every of the slippers. And the scripture speaks a lot. So it's giving me a clear image that this is a ministry. This is what God wants me to do. And so June 7th, I'm going to a community. You know, I told you I was working at an NGO.
Yep.
We built a school in a community. That school, I was part of those who built that school because I was the coordinator then. We moved to Accra to every day to Offa around Kasua there, Bentum, to build that school. And so it feels good to go back there, not in the company's name, but in my own way, to also give back shoes to them. And that's the campaign I'm soon going to run.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you've done amazing. If you have to leave the young African entrepreneur, especially a young woman, with one truth about success, what would it be?
I think you need to know your niche. Know it well.
Okay.
When you know your niche, shamelessly sell yourself, market yourself. People will say, you are doing too much, but do it. Because you know what you're looking for. Know your niche, know what you are good at, and shamelessly sell it so well. And don't ever underestimate the power of branding. People don't buy the product. They buy experiences. That's why you go and buy this big brand. It's not because of the product. It's because of what you want to get. So people buy experiences. And so don't underestimate that. Package yourself well, brand yourself well. If it's a company, do it. If it's a product, do it well. The right people will see it. Be bold, be loud, and have a strategy. That is the defining moment of everybody. I know every guest you have interviewed, they all come and tell their story, but they all have a strategy that is keeping them afloat. Know yours. Sometimes you might not be physical, like work hard, be humble and all that. Yours can be, what you be praying every night. Maybe yours can be giving to somebody that God has, go give to this person. Maybe yours might be just singing, dancing, just being happy. So your strategy, if you know it, you are good to go. If you know it too, it doesn't make you jealous of other people. You know your journey. And I think we live in a society where they've couched a success template for us. Have a car, have a house, have maybe a wife, husband, you are successful. But success differs from everybody. Because if you have your own template, so I have my own template, so that if I see Amma in a car, I'm not jealous because that's not my template then. Maybe that's not my route. If I see Kofi as a lawyer, I am never intimidated because that's not my template. So have your own templates because society will give you theirs, and that's where the pressure comes in. You want to belong, you want to succeed by all means. But if you have your own template to go by it, it gives you comfort, it gives you edge, it gives you hope that wherever you pass, you also get to your own path. So have your own template and step into your own shoes, like I did.
I love it. Usually when these things happen, I don't want to stop. I just want you to flow because sometimes almost every single guest I've had, they get into a space where it's beyond them.
Yeah.
And you've just given us one. That was definitely spiritual. I'm going to ask you a series of questions before we close off. And the first one is, do you think without social media, your business would have gotten to where it is today?
Never.
Good. That's the power of social media. And I want you to leave a comment. Why have you not started your social media brand yet? Give me a response. Maybe somebody could help you. Drop it in the comments. All right, let's move. The next thing is there anything that I could have asked you, we could have spoken about today that I have not asked?
Maybe finances.
Let's talk about it.
Money is such a very important thing in our life. It gives you choices. I understand why people are still stuck in abusive relationships.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I started earning early in life. I had money coming into my hands early. Yes. And I love business. I love money. I like money. I don't love money. Because if you love, you kill for money. Yes, I like money. And I think I'm just realizing how people still stay in that because what they live, what would they survive on? And so where they are getting the money from, if they leave it will be difficult. So they let me stay like that, endure. And that's why people are still left there. And so money gives you a lot of choices. And even the Bible says what? Silver and gold are mine. And so why should Jesus' baby be poor or be struggling? And so I had that, God blessed me. But I wasn't managing my money, my finances well. I was very bad at that. Spending anyhow, giving anyhow. So just last 2 years or last year, And I made a decision that I went to God in prayer. God, forgive me. I've messed up. People have dashed me money. I get people, and people's payroll. People give me money just to survive. And I'm messing up with this money. What can you do? Help me. Have mercy on me. And God did have mercy on me. But God never brought money again, but he brought people.
Wow.
God introduced me to one of my sisters, and that was a defining moment. And I was disciplined with it. She said, no, Edna, I know you. I know you as a shoemaker, and I came to meet you as an author. 5 years to come, 10 years to come, I don't want to see you broke. I want to see you a billionaire. Yes, she told me that. And then I said, okay, why not? It was a very difficult journey. Just she sat me down and said, this is what you're going to do. Any money that comes into your hands, we are going to split that. You diversify your money. You won't go one way. And so I took that decision. It was difficult, but I had to. And now I'm so happy. Now, if people are talking about money, I want to also get myself and talk something because yes, I have learned my mistake. I have grown. Last month, I received dividend from my company. I was paying stock, and my sister was like, last year we didn't have something like that, but see what God is doing. We are now receiving dividend from company, not just one company, different companies, and that's God. You need to be disciplined with money. Money will come, but if you don't know, the only way money grows is through investment. Trust me.
Wow.
And that is the only way money grows. So if you do not have, learn, sit down, get people. I mean, lately we have people who are on social media giving us tips on that. I think you have one recently on finances and all that. And you have to learn that. You just sit down. The only way money will grow is through investment. So please be disciplined with money. And please, the future will need that. If not, it will go broke.
I thank God that I asked that question because what you've said is so key. And I've got something here that I wanted to say to add. In the Bible, King Solomon was the wealthiest in the Bible. Yeah. This man did not just have one stream of income. He had, and I'm going to list it to you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways of making money. Yeah. And this is in the Bible. You can find this First Kings. If you go through First Kings, you'll find all the strategies that Solomon used to make money. I'll tell you one. Number one was heavy taxation and tribute from other nations. Just one. And then I can talk about the last one, which is extensive real estate and construction projects.
Really?
So we talk about money and then we make it look like it's not a good thing. It's even from the Bible, from the people that you are learning from, they made money through several means. So it is important that we work on our money habits.
Christianity will never grow without money. Yes. It's because how can you people in Japan hear of Jesus without investing in good technology? And now you see what churches are doing. They have good cameras and everything. But their message will be across Japanese and all that for them to also hear about the message of God. So you also help.
Yes.
And that's why you have kingdom financiers or whatever in the churches. So yeah.
Absolutely. Motivation or discipline?
Discipline.
Okay. All right. What's the best advice you've ever received?
I have received a lot. Number one, you can't do it all alone. Know your Abraham if you are Lot. And if you are Lot, find your Abraham. God called Abraham. He never called Lot. But if you read the Bible, you may think God even called Lot because Lot was so blessed because of the power of association. So you might have the idea, but you don't have the funding. You might have somebody who has the funding, who has the idea, the same vision as yours. Why don't you click together with the person and move on? You might be Abraham. God has given you the mandate. Look for your Lot, the people who carry on the vision with you and make it successful.
Thank you. I love that. I like that. Now, can you recommend a book for my audience?
I think, can I recommend 2 books?
Yeah,
I think The Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah. And then Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese? Yeah. Such a small book.
Very small book, but it's very powerful. You need to monitor change. You need to adapt to change. If not, you will still remain wherever you are with your 10 years resolution that you still have.
Amazing. Well, look, I've enjoyed this conversation and I'd like to say thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And I hope that people make it to the end. I love the people that usually make it to the end. So if you made it to the end, I want to see that in the comments. I have just spoken with a Shoemaker Girl. Thank you so much for sticking with me, for listening on Apple, Spotify, and wherever. If you haven't subscribed, this is your opportunity to make this podcast bigger and better. My name is Derek Abaite. Stay connected.